Ego is a bird's nest, haphazardly collected and carelessly placed, shaped by every bit of debris and every breeze that has ever passed its way. Once you start tearing it apart, you'll actually find very little to identify with, and even less that was consciously placed there by you. And even then, you, who? The self that takes part in the creation and development of self was not itself the product of self, but of countless non-self agencies and events. So what is self, really? You can try to take control of yourself, try to make some sense of it, organize it, but all you can really do is tidy up on the surface. Some egos are more cluttered, some less. But the idea that a true self lurks within the clutter is just one of the little vanities that keeps us walking in small, purposeful circles. There's no such thing as true self. Realizing that you have no idea who you are is the beginning of finding out who you are. The idea of the individual self, valid and separate, unravels very quickly under any serious scrutiny. All beliefs do. What takes time and effort is becoming the person who chooses to put the idea of self under such scrutiny, and making sense of what's left after the belief is gone.
Jed, what you call the first step is nothing so innocuous as a step at all. It's a nuclear holocaust of the self, a personal Armageddon. A post-apocalyptic nightmare metaphor feels in some respects so accurate that an actual post-apocalyptic nightmare would seem like a vain pretender. This is real, and everything else is, as you say, just an image flickering on the wall. All I am is a frightened little bundle of opinions and memories and desires. That's all anyone is. I'm just amazed that everyone isn't like me, doing what I'm doing, ripping away their bullshit as fast as they can. I'm starting to see how deep this separation runs, how pervasive it truly is.
Ego as a structure of confinement is an apt analogy, but slightly misleading. Jails wall in, ego walls out. A minor distinction, perhaps, but a critical one. Whatever's out there isn't holding us in. We're holding it out. We are our own keepers. We can open the door and walk out whenever we want. Of course, the thing one leaves isn't just the prison of self, but self itself. So the freedom thus won is something of a booby prize. Julie may rage against the fear that confines us in one email and display a calm understanding and respect for it in the next. Fear looks like evil when you're trying to escape from it, but it looks very sensible and necessary when you're not. You can say fear and ignorance are bad and that Maya is evil, but that's a low-level perspective. For this whole dualistic universe thing to work, it's important that everyone doesn't just go wandering off, that they stay on stage and play their role. Fear is the glue that holds the whole thing together and keeps everyone in character. Julie understands that, intellectually at least.
I was out walking today, and I was so overcome by happiness that I had to skip. Skip? I haven't skipped since I got interested in boys. I skipped through the woods and sang loud idiot songs, and I jumped up and down on the earth so it knew I was here. Tilly came bounding along with me, leaping and yipping. I think we bonded. I suddenly realized that after more than a year of this agonizing upheaval, I have absolutely nothing to show for it. And that thought was just too funny. It was like the dam had burst. I have no wisdom, no knowledge, nothing to impart, all this hell, and I have nothing to show for it. I have acquired nothing, gained nothing. How perfect. The word wise fool popped into my head right then, and it felt perfect. What a great word. I've become so delightfully stupid that I really enjoy being with myself. I think it might be because I don't think about things too much anymore. I can't believe how much of my life I've spent in thought. Think, all day long, as if there was anything to think about. What was I thinking? When this is over, I vow never to think again. Disgusting habit.
To become an adult human is like being born anew into an unimaginably different world and having to figure out where you are and how everything works. You come to see, as Julie has, that thought, our primary method for understanding life, is really our way of walling ourselves off from it. We translate the world into our artificial language of symbols and concepts in order to avoid knowing it directly.
That's how it is every day as I uncover more of these aspects of my former self, some greater, some lesser. I don't grieve for any of them, even those I held most dear. I simply mark their passing, dry-eyed, shell-shocked, and move on.
When the intervening layer of symbols and concepts is removed, the terrain and self are seen as one, and the rules of motion and navigation become radically different. This is the true but seldom realized potential of the human being. I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars.